Okay, so did you just say, start the clock, Marcia clock?
I said, start the clock. And then I paused for a bit. And then I said, Marcia clock.
Which makes... It's nothing to do with anything.
Because I'm in nonsense mode right now.
Okay, well, nonsense mode's okay. Nonsense mode's not a bad thing to be in every once in a while, I guess.
And we're back. Hi, everyone. We've been away for a little while, but, you know, as promised, we've returned. So, you want to say hi?
Who are you?
I'm Lambert.
I'm Gower. And this is...
Squadcast. It has nothing to do with it.
Squadcast. What was that? That woo-hoo? Because we missed Halloween?
I was doing... Oh, okay, yeah.
Because we missed Halloween?
Yes, that's exactly why I did it. Scooby-Doo, you know. That's stupid. What did you do for Halloween?
You're
stupid.
stupid.
What did you do for Halloween?
You said Marcia clock. You're stupid.
Stop the clock.
What did I do for Halloween?
Yeah.
I actually was in Brooklyn.
Oh, right.
They brought me to Brooklyn to screen Monster Squad on Halloween night at the new Alamo Drafthouse that just opened that weekend in Brooklyn, New York. So any tri-state area people...
I'm hearing about this now for the first time.
No, you knew about it. You've seen the pictures.
You got to go to Brooklyn?
Yes, I got to go to Brooklyn.
What was the reception like?
Awesome, because Tim called me or wrote me a couple weeks ago. Tim Lee, CEO, founder of the Alamo Drafthouse movie theaters. And anybody out there with an Alamo Drafthouse in your area, that should be the only place you go see a movie, because it's the only place that's cool and worth it. They take the film-going experience seriously. Anyway, Tim called me and was like, hey, are you interested in coming in for the day? Because the Brooklyn Alamo, the newest one, is just opening.
For one day.
And so he set me up, and Christina, who runs the Alamo up there, it's built out in this new kind of swanky retail area. It's on the top floor. They've got... I don't know if I told you about this, but Tim went to, I believe, Germany, because there was this kind of 100-year-old weird museum that had it was a wax museum, and they were getting rid of all of their stuff.
Oh,
and
cool.
it's weird stuff. It was metal. There's a whole history to it, which I don't recall very well, but these traveling shows in these museums were how people learned about stuff, and so all of it was medical. There were medical wax molds of medical procedures. Wow. and molds, and it was it's super super creepy, but super super
I've
weird.
Seen similar things like that in oddity shops and things like that.
Yeah, it's a gigantic wax museum oddity shop, which is in the bar of the new Alamo in Brooklyn. So it's really neat. And so they brought that in and built it all out. I mean, it's a really cool facility, kind of 2 levels and an escalator to get to the thing. And Christina, who runs the programming at that Alamo, set it up, and we did one screening at 7 o'clock, and that was on the DCP, which is the digital version. And so I introed that. They watched it. I came to the Q&A, and then I met them downstairs in the lobby to do kind of a signing picture type of thing. But she put together a 9 o'clock screening on 35 millimeter. In a different theater, and that was jam-packed too.
Oh, wow. Was it some of the same people came over and saw the both?
No, they were down in the lobby waiting to take pictures and get stuff signed.
Oh, wow.
Because at the same time, Mondo had just released the soundtrack on vinyl.
Right.
Like the LP, which they had for sale in there. So they sold probably 30 or 40 of those that night. And I was signing those. But then the 35 millimeter screening, she was like, yeah, I got it. I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. This is her, and she goes, I don't know if it's going to do, but I want to screen this on 35, because they have a theater at that Alamo that could do 35, and that was full too. So I ran over there, introed the 9 o'clock, went downstairs to hang out and talk and sign with everybody from the 7 o'clock. That took about an hour and change, almost an hour and a half. Ran upstairs, did the Q&A from the 35 millimeter theater, and then went downstairs to hang out with those people. So it was kind of nonstop all night. But super cool going into Brooklyn. So, thanks to the Alamo and Christina and Tim for bringing me out. So it was a lot of Monster Squad fans in Brooklyn and Long Island.
Awesome.
And
I'd like to thank those people as well for not having me. And
I think you were out of town anyway.
I'll get him next year. I was in. I took a little trip to San Francisco, and didn't really do anything on Halloween. Decided not to dress up. Stayed in and with a friend of mine, and we watched a bunch of horror stuff. And what did we see? What's this movie? As It Is Above, As It Is Below. I can't remember what it's called. It was actually really scary.
Close enough. Hopefully the guy that made that movie's not listening.
I know,
So
God. And all the fans out there are like, oh my God, it's called this.
Well,
it's not a very good time.
Send a tweet. Tell Ryan what it's called.
This is above ground and we're below ground and something, I don't know. And then this wonderful Irish kind of horror comedy film, which I also don't know the name of. So, winning endorsements for 2 films that I can't remember the name.
Ding ding. Ding.
But it was nice. I had a good time.
But you usually like to dress up for Halloween.
I do. Last year, we did. I was in San Francisco again. For anybody that doesn't know, I used to live there for like 15 years. So I'm just basically going back to visit some people. And we were, me and Candace were the X-Files. So I think you can see pictures maybe on my Instagram or something. Of us.
I think there's some on there from last
year.
So
we did. I was Scully, and she was. No, wait.
No. Or did you? No.
It was pretty uncanny. Like, yeah, we did a really good job. Like, she had like printed out the little badges, and we got them laminated, and like.
You guys look good.
I had to like dye. I dyed my hair for one night black because I'm gray, and
salt and pepper.
Oh, is that what they call it? And then she looked amazing, and we carried around this like giant inflatable green
alien. That's right, you did. I remember that.
That basically wound up like my friend called me the next day, whose party we went to that year, and he said we named him Carter, by the way.
The inflatable alien.
The inflatable was Carter, and if you don't know, that's named after Mr. Carter, who created the X-Files. He said he called me the next day. He said, "Your friend is still at the party. Your friend won't leave." I said, "Who are you talking about?" He's like, "Carter's still here."
Carter is.
I said, "Candace, we left Carter."
Is he still?
He's
at that
still
house?
there.
He's still at
I
the
think
house?
he's deflated in a closet now. So maybe we'll revisit.
Well,
that.
maybe he's at least he's still there. That's funny.
Or maybe he got a speaking spell and went home. Anyway,
with a table saw blade and a coat hanger.
Right.
I haven't dressed up for Halloween in a number of years, just because I've been either traveling or back and forth, or I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago we were out here and we dressed up as scary scarecrows.
Scary scarecrows.
Scary scarecrows. So
that's kind of an oxymoron.
Well, not just kind of like happy, corny scarecrows. We were like trying to be,
but
like
even
spooky
those
scarecrows.
are like terrifying.
They are, because we put, you do a little eye makeup. Like I did, like sunken in,
right.
like the undead scarecrow,
right.
like coming alive. But and you go to the little pumpkin patch and you get some hay and you stick it in your sleeve in your pocket and make it authentic. And that was fun. And we went to a party that we got invited to at a celebrity's house that's on a TV show, and that we didn't know anybody. And we got there, and the people that invited us actually didn't show up for like an hour and a half.
So you're just sitting there as a scarecrow.
Don't know anybody. And what ironic was, we chose to sit on the hay bales that they brought in to put in the yard.
So you just blended in.
I think we just kind of stood there, and people thought we were decor. It was so
That's
funny.
Great.
And it was like Jonah Hill walked by and was just like,
what
gave
was
us
he
a
dressed
look.
as?
I think he was dressed as the kid from Superbad.
Oh, that's funny.
As himself. Jonah Hill is Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe he was dressed as Chris Farley. I don't know. The ghost of Chris Farley is Jonah Hill. And then our friends showed up, and like we hung out for 5 minutes, and they like went to the other half of the party, and we didn't see him, and we left.
Wow, that sounds really fun.
I commented after that we went as like method costume people, because we went and sat on hay bales and didn't move, and so we tried to be like really funny and weird, to be like, let's freak some people out if they sit with like and then be like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, you could do like what you do on like when you go to like Hollywood Boulevard and there's like the guy dressed as
statue guy,
gold.
the statue.
I think
guy.
every city's got a gold or silver man.
The freeze models. Yeah, there's a whole agency in Vegas for freeze models.
What is this like phenomenon with? Maybe it's over by now. Like this like mannequin challenge. Have you seen?
It's like the planking thing. I was like,
stupid.
so people are taking photos of them doing yoga.
Yeah,
let's
not give too much credit for too much time for this. But
yeah,
like,
I don't know. I think someone made a mistake with like doing a shootout mannequin challenge, and like cops like drew their guns on them. So it's like just.
But now I saw like a friend of mine posted something like they tried to do one, but like everyone's moving, and he said we tried to do it and everyone's moving, so it wasn't. I'm like, well, you didn't do it.
Yeah, that's not a mannequin.
Yeah, challenge failed. Like you're done. Like either
that's like doing a flash mob and everybody stands still.
Also,
you're
like,
not doing it.
Why would you post it? Like, you didn't do it.
He posted a fail.
Yeah, well, that's why I saw it. I was like,
here's my mannequin challenge. It didn't work out, but here it is. Like, so it's just people in the square.
It's just people walking around
down the street,
like, doing nothing and like not listening to you. Like, we're supposed to do a mannequin. Stop what you're doing.
Stop! This is a mannequin challenge.
And everyone's like, shut up.
So is the mannequin? I see.
Shut
a
up, scarecrow.
mannequin.
Sit still.
Shut up, scarecrow. I see a mannequin challenge is. Oh, so basically, we did the mannequin challenge 3 years ago,
right?
Before it was a thing. Yeah. Isn't the mannequin challenge the opposite of a flash mob? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so we had Halloween. We did that. What's your favorite Halloween costume that you ever did?
Oh my god, this wasn't actually a favorite, but it's a good one. Like when I was younger, like when I was like 20 something, went to a huge party. And I decided that I was going to be Lizard Man. And I got this stuff from the store that you paint on your face, and then you let it dry. And then you move your face once it's dry, and it cracks. So it looks like you have like lizardy. Yeah, you have
that's kind of cool.
And it was purple. And then I just that's all I did. Like I just had that on my face. And then
just wore like a t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah, it was just Lizard Man.
But not on your hands.
No, just my face.
Just your face.
Just my face. The thing was like there was a lot of alcohol involved.
Okay.
And then there was a lot of other things involved.
Okay.
And I started to get a little, started to like freak out a little bit.
Because you had the stuff on?
Yeah, I was like,
because it felt weird.
It felt weird, and then I realized like I'm the Lizard Man, and I like caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and ran right to the bathroom and went and like just washed it all off.
Was the ice made out of lysergic acid?
I just had
a
total freak out. Like no,
well maybe you reverted back to your rubber mask.
There was other substance abuse things going on.
But you just had it on your face.
I just had it on my face.
So they didn't wear a glove
for
like
good
glasses
2 hours, and then I went back to the party, and they're like, "What are you supposed to be?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm Lizard Man."
So
I took the stuff off. But I'm still Lizard Man.
Were you Lizard Man, or were you just like Eczema Man or something? I like.
I was a leprosy boy.
Was it like cheap effect, or did it kind of work kind of cool?
It looked good. I mean, I bought it from like the Halloween store or whatever, but like it still worked.
Oh, so it was all like organic products from Norway, not like petrochemicals from Shanghai.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
good.
It was all on the up and up.
That actually turns you into Lizard Man.
Yeah, I still like
that was
anyway,
his eyes just went vertical.
One year I was I wanted to be Marty McFly, and I was adamant about like it was all or nothing.
Right.
It was all or nothing. Like
okay.
I needed the whole thing, like from head to toe. It had to be absolutely perfect, and I drove my girlfriend at the time absolutely insane, going around to every like thrift shop, every store. I needed the shirt needed to be the exact shirt.
The plaid shirt, or the plaid shirt, like plaid, the denim jacket.
It had to be everything. It had to be everything.
The vest.
Yeah. And I got pretty close. And still people at the party were like, "Who are you supposed to be?" And I had to like actually do the pose coming out of the DeLorean, like with the watch, like staring at the watch. Yeah.
Did they get it?
Yeah. Then they're like, "Oh, I get it." I'm like,
"How did you not
what
get
did it? That's what got you."
Well, that may be an interesting commentary of visual art and/or marketing. That's what creates impressions, and people have those images burned in their mind that have recall.
Yeah.
That go to. Oh, it's a bunch of fans outside.
Parties going on outside.
Someone found the address. I think I had a number of favorite Halloween costumes, but probably one of my favorite ones. It was just terrible when you were a kid, but like I put a red towel on and like a blue pair of underwear, and I went on as Captain America.
Yeah, because that's what you did.
It had the shield.
That's what you did in the 70s.
Captain America.
Either you did that.
It's just a towel,
right? Either your mom made you something.
I had like red, like rubber rain boots.
Yeah,
and I was Captain.
And I bet like people were like, "Woo, you're Captain America."
You're Captain America.
I'm like going all out. I mean, I might as well have just had a sticker on it that said Marty McFly. Hello, McFly. And no one got it. You know, you put a red cape on, you're like,
oh, you're Captain America. Yeah. But we were little kids. But my favorite one as an adult was
Well, the Captain America doesn't have a red cape, does he? He doesn't have a cape at all.
I know, but I had a red cape on.
So you actually weren't.
That's why I was thinking it was dumb. And my blue underwear didn't have like stars on them or anything. It was like blue underwear. And I ran around the neighborhood on my tricycle, which was my Captain America motorbike. And I think instead of the shield, I put my Captain America lunchbox on the front of
my god! Oh yeah, you had to have an accessory that had something on it. There's like those costumes that like you bought when you were a kid, where like it was just like a plastic outfit, and then then it had a plastic mask with the band on it. You put on, so if you were like
the rubber band.
Yeah, if you were Casper, you had like Casper over your face, and then just a white
plastic
bag, right? But it had a picture of who you were on it.
Yes, so you had to have an actual like legend to who you were.
I think I was a stormtrooper one year in that fashion, and I had the mask.
Well, maybe it's your ID badge.
And that's right.
Like, you're cleared to enter into the trick-or-treating neighborhood.
Yeah, there was a picture, and then there was a picture of a stormtrooper on my chest. Like I get it, you're a fucking stormtrooper.
From the Department of Redundancy Department. But my favorite adult one, I had like the day of to figure it out, and I didn't know what it was. And I was at like a used store, a thrift store, and I saw the pair of shorts that turned into the best Halloween costume.
Oh no!
Because
anything that starts with "I found the pair of shorts,"
and they were very okay. They were short, khaki-colored, old, like early '80s tennis shorts, which had no length on them at all.
Right.
And I went, I've got it.
Oh no!
So I bought those.
Oh no!
I went to a store and bought.
What is it?
And my hair was longer and shaggier, so it kind of poked out at the back, and my ears and stuff was like long and greasy. And
you were Land of the Lost.
Will. That'd be a good casting.
Will.
And someone needs to be Chaka. And you could go as Lizard Man as a sleaze
stack.
Oh my god, let's
all
do
working
that.
out. Next year we're having a Land of the Lost party.
Oh my god, that's awesome. You're a sleaze stack. And so I went and bought a Hawaiian shirt and had a guy remake it for me that day.
Yeah,
I got a Detroit Tiger shirt and topsiders.
Okay, got it.
And had I planned this a month in advance, I would have grown the mustache.
Yeah.
But I got a fake one. And that was Magnum PI.
Yeah, nice.
And I went to this huge party. And I spent the entire time taking pictures with everybody that wanted to take a picture with me.
How come everybody knows that you're Magnum and I'm not, and they didn't know I was Marty? It's so obvious. I had the puffy jacket. I had the damn jacket.
Yeah, it seems like it sucks. I wanted to have like a zinger there, like maybe mine was just better, but I would have gotten it. I would have said, "Oh, Marty McFly."
I didn't have hover shoes or whatever, but.
Did you just have like some high top Nikes on?
Not hover shoes, but those things, the Nikes.
Yeah,
I had Nikes on.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe everybody was just dumb.
I mean, I think that got them from a thrift store, so they were like bikies or something. They were just like that.
Well, that was
Smikies.
You can't have bikes.
Spikies. Bikes. Like the logo was like upside down and like
it was a swish instead of a swoosh or a swar. Oh my god! But that was probably my best spur of the moment Halloween, because sometimes the spur of the moment ones are cool.
I mean, I've had ones where I'm just like, fuck it, and put on like a Viking hat and like a purple wig, and then like I'm carrying like a rubber chicken. Like, who cares? Like, there's just like, I got to do something. And then I've had times when like this year where we just kind of like stayed and watched movies and made some dinner, and it was nice. So that was Halloween.
So that was Halloween. That was good. Yeah, and I was on an airplane the whole time, back and forth. But Brooklyn was very cool. So on the flight there, I was lucky enough, like LA to JFK has like that business flight, so every seat had like a small screen in it, so you could watch TV and stuff.
Yep.
But this lady in front of me decided she needed to stretch the whole time, and she reached both of her hands over her head and grabbed the back of her own seat, which is kind of cool, except for I don't want to look at your fingernails all night. But then she also covered up half of my screen for every time she did that, and I was like, I want to see if she just needed to stretch, and she did it constantly. So I would just like punch the seat or be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to watch." It was incredibly.
You didn't say anything?
They just, I finally did when she was, because sometimes she wasn't in the way,
like,
but then
"Bitch."
she reached back. But, it's a long flight.
Blocking
and,
my peace.
she needed to stretch, but I could only go so long. But I thought it was really funny that people just have zero frame of reference of anything else around them that they could be bothering them.
Yeah,
but it's my pet peeve of people getting
selfish
out of an airplane seat when they grab your seat.
Right.
When they actually get better leverage and you can get out of your seat if you grab the back of your own seat.
Right.
But people don't do that. They just yank you and don't care.
Yeah.
But anyway,
airline
travel.
I often take buses back and forth to San Francisco. It's just kind of easier, and I grab a book and I just read the whole time. And man, most of the time you get really lucky because you get the row to yourself. I mean, it's only like 2 seats, But I can put my bag and all my books next to me.
Right.
But every once in a while, it's packed, and there's just some guy or girl that sits down next to you, and they just like have no regard. This is the bus I'm talking about. There's a little bit more etiquette maybe on a plane. Like bus people.
And there's not much there anymore,
no,
so
right.
I can only imagine
so
a
this
bus
is like
going up the
bus
Central Valley.
to San Francisco, stopping in bumfuck nowhere and picking up Toothy McGee. And then they get on and they're just like, literally just like have no regard or any idea that you even exist. And their elbows are just like in your face. And their music is blasting out of their headphones. And
that I don't like is when I don't need to hear
like
your
you have headphones and I still can hear. I have headphones on and I
hear
can still hear your shit.
That's too loud. I've been on a lot of buses, but when you're talking about Greyhound to go from point A to point B, I tried to go from LA to go visit my dad one time. I said, "I'll just take the bus because it's like $30 or something.
It's cheap. It's easy. Yeah,
come down and pick me up in Fresno." And I got on the bus station in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Bought my ticket, got on. Of course, I got there early because I'm me. And I get on the bus. I'm like, "Oh, this is good. I'll sit right here. I got a window." Then the bus started filling up. Mm-hmm. And you're going to Central Valley. All the places you're passing, going to where you're going. That's the destination. And I was on the bus for about 25 minutes, and it filled up. And he was about to close the door, and I went, "Nope, hang on, hold on a second. Let me grab my bag underneath.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here." And I was like, this is not going to happen for 5 hours. And I went and I rented a car one way and drove to see my dad.
That's
nice. See my dad.
I actually do that. I actually am that guy, that total asshole who like pretends he's asleep with all of his bags on the seats next to,
So you can try.
So like, just give it at least one whirl, like where like, please don't sit down next to me.
Yeah, and
like,
a bus maybe you're trying to. People try to do that on Southwest.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
Every flight's full, so it doesn't work.
But like,
move over, bacon.
Yeah, I'm laying there, like I'm kind of spread out a little bit. Maybe my foot's like in the aisle or something.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just trying to like
just
like maybe you're gonna sit here, maybe you're gonna wake me up, quote unquote, and sit down, but I'm gonna make it look like it's gonna be a nightmare for you.
Right,
like,
so you're going to choose another seat first.
Right, you should go somewhere else.
The strategy with that can also backfire because if someone's going to sit down, you may have missed a decent seatmate, right, and you're stuck with the person that's late and the last person on the bus.
Yep.
So then you're fine.
Then I'm screwed.
And I've done that on Southwest.
Yeah.
Well, Southwest, like no seats assignments, we go straight to the back row. Because if there's going to be an empty seat,
I always go to the back of the plane anyway.
Back of the plane, automatically. We've done that for years. It's so much better. It's so choice. I do recommend it.
Yeah, no, it's much better.
But air travel just is really bad now.
That's why if it's close enough, I'll jump on the bus, whatever. It's
even on supposedly good carriers, but they're not that good.
The last time we went to the Chicago for that convention, that
was different.
First class all the way, baby. First class. The minute I got on the plane, I fell asleep.
You did, yeah.
I didn't get any of the perks.
First class experience.
Got 0 perks because I just passed right out, and on the way back too, passed right out. I probably snored the whole time, and whoever first class person was sitting down next to me.
And your headphones were blaring, and everybody could hear it. Like, who's this guy in first class?
Wait a minute,
he should totally be on a Greyhound. Look at him, his foot's all out in my space, his bag's leaning over.
I was sprawled out on first class.
You reverse Greyhound first class on American?
I missed out everything, yeah.
Oh, man, that's funny. Okay, so then we had Thanksgiving, which is one of my favorite holidays. Halloween's my favorite. Thanksgiving's good, but now we're talking about the traditional, like holidays, Thanksgiving to Christmas, or New Year's or Hanukkah.
Thanksgiving's always been...
I'm a happy holidays guy because I'm not, I don't subscribe, and I have a very diverse base of people that I know and hang out with. So I like the holidays because I like the time and the spirit. But I enjoy spending holidays with people I'm not related to.
Right.
I'd rather spend holidays with friends, which I've been doing my entire life, than the family thing. And it sounds like I'm being an ass, but you're with your family all the time. I just have a different view of it because I spend a lot of time. I do family holidays. I have, but I've also done holidays with friends and their families, which I enjoy. And sometimes you don't get to see them all the time. It's the only time you get to see them. You can see your family at any time. And if I want some family drama, I can go on a Tuesday afternoon. I don't need to waste time off for travel.
I haven't really done family Thanksgiving in quite some time. It's always been like friends or something. Or like in San Francisco, maybe I'd spend it with my aunt and uncle. But this year was the first year in, God, I can't even remember how many years, where it was just me, my brother, and my mom and my dad.
Right.
That was it.
You said that.
Just the four of us at my brother's.
You did it at your brother's place.
We did it at my brother's place, and we ordered Thai food. And we talked about pot the whole time. We talked about smoking weed. Didn't smoke weed.
Just talked about smoking weed.
Just talked about how my mom and dad would love to just start smoking a bunch of weed. And
I think Marlene probably should.
And I think she wants to. Like, every time I talk to her now, she's like, do you think I should... She started talking about some strain of something, and I was like...
She's been reading
No,
the
she
internet.
named it something weird. I was like, what are we talking about right now? She was like...
Simi Valley Kush?
Yeah, she was talking about some weird strain of weed. I'm like, wait, are you talking about pot? She's like, yeah, do you think I should... I'm watching YouTube videos on how to grow it.
Of course she is.
My friend grows pot.
Of how to grow it? Not just
she wants to grow
deep.
it. No,
she's
she wants
growing
to grow
deep.
it. She's like, I think I can grow it. I think I could do it. I'm like, go for it, man. Do it. Go, mom. Smoke some weed. Anyway,
she's supposed to grow it. She's gonna be like this kingpin.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have. You don't have to be anymore. No, now you just
have your own. You have your own balcony. Balcony.
Your own deal.
Until that changes, because one. Of course, this is totally Andre speaking, but now that a huge state has passed it, because now all the dominoes will start falling. Again, because I think 5 states voted it in this last election, right? California is obviously one of the leaders. What does that do? There's always that question. What does that do to, the illegal drug trade, the cartels, the crime, that undergroundedness? I think that'll still be there because it's a big bureaucratic clusterfuck to do this. I know where it's heading is because I think the black market does grow, and because it's going to be so overregulated. But you realize that Monsanto has already patented their first GMO marijuana seed.
Yeah.
And then, of all the legal states, that's the only pot you're going to be able to buy.
Right.
It's going to be Monsanto pot.
Yep.
So have fun with that, folks.
There's going to be a little logo and a mascot.
Oh yeah, but you're only going to be able to buy Monsanto.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go in and they're going to copyright infringe all the farmers and growers. It's like, hey, you're growing, it's like they do to regular farmers in Iowa and corn and soybeans. Just shitty. And so it's interesting that everybody's like, all right, we got weed is legal and everybody can grow it. No, that's not what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think anybody really read through that proposition quite
no, they just said
thoroughly
pot
as they should.
legal.
They saw weed, yay,
right,
and then they said hell yeah. Everyone I know was like, oh fuck yeah. I'm like, well, did you read what's going to happen if this happens? This might not be the right proposition. And a lot of advocates actually
said this
didn't believe in it as well. They said, let's just wait. We have better ideas and a better way to regulate this. Nah, let's just do it now.
Let's just do it.
We just want the weed.
Yeah,
because
you can't.
But don't you already get the weed anyway?
Yeah, I don't think
the weed. How old am I?
Get the weed. You've been reading the interwebs too much. But no, I think that is a good point because a lot of people just. Because you also can't read a voting booklet, because we're talking about voting season. You can't read the headline of a voting because they're actually worded in a way to deceive you.
Right.
And so we did a lot of research. We did a lot of research. And we struggled with some things because you have a line on me that this is just, it's It's so annoying, and you'd like to feel like you have an impact and some say and some stuff, but
Giant
you
crock
really
of bullshit.
don't. You really
Anyway,
don't.
Let's not go. Let's
Right. So let's talk about Thanksgiving again. So I think this year we both actually
You went to
spent
family. You went to Las
family
Vegas, right?
also. No, actually went to Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
My mother and sister were staying at a friend's house, and we drove down there for like 3 days. I just went for the golf and the leftovers.
Right.
And just got leftovers. So
Really?
but it was fun. Passed up some, going to
Dorothy
friends'
was
place,
was she good? Had she?
Dorothy was Dorothy. Dorothy was
Dorothy?
fine.
Okay.
My sister actually put a lot of effort into making really good food, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come home with as many leftovers as I wanted to because I ate them all there.
Yep.
But she made a lot of food, and it was really good. So she put way too much effort into it. But which she normally puts way too much effort into every single thing she does. And as long as she gets a return out of it, she can continue to do that.
I put a lot of effort. I mean, my brother ordered the Thai food, and I went down and got it.
You went down and got it?
I actually went down to the front door and got the...
Right, not to the Thai place.
No. They
it
brought
was delivered.
No, yeah, they brought it to me. I just went down to the front door. I had to sign the thing.
You could have missed a step. You could have I
could have tripped in the elevator
and spilled.
I could have got trapped in the elevator.
You could have got trapped in the elevator with the egg drop soup.
Well, yeah.
Or
unless that happened before I got the food.
You could have spilled the pad thai everywhere.
If I went down the...
Is that a spare rib on your shoe? No.
I come back covered in Thai food. What happened? You were gone for 20 minutes.
The stairs.
I got caught in the elevator and had a nervous breakdown. So I ate everything.
I passed out and thought I was starving, so I ate it all. So that leads us into Christmas time, Hanukkah time, winter solstice time, and then New Year's, which I think is so wacky because, especially in holiday, everything shuts down next week in this business, and it doesn't start until the 5th or whenever the first lies. Yeah, people don't come back to the
I've been talking to a few people about auditions and stuff. They're like, make sure we get this in before the 15th.
Oh yeah, because everybody's
it's over.
Everybody's gone. I'm waiting on paperwork from 2 things. I'm like, it's not going to happen now until after the New Year's.
No,
damn it. 19th is the dead latest. People were working in this town, and it kind of shuts down for almost a month.
It's fine. Taking a break is fine, but taking a break to celebrate something, well, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah. So that's a whole other conversation.
I'm not a fan.
I still like this. I still like the spirit of the holidays. But it's not only what you were talking about that we won't get into, but also it's so commercialized.
That's the
that
problem.
It's gone away from what holiday time is supposed to be. It's like, hey, let's take a break. Like you're saying, taking a break, enjoying being around people you want to be around, enjoying. Thanksgiving's supposed to be thankful, Christmas is supposed to be joyful, and it's all just stress.
Well,
and I bought the wrong
for me.
gift.
Not for me.
Well, see, I don't buy.
I zero celebrate it, and it's not really about because I don't believe in something. It's just my family. Well, I mean, I grew up Jewish, and that doesn't really have anything to do with it per se. Because we did beg for Christmas, because all of our friends were having it. And they get all these awesome, neat toys and all these
Christmas
presents.
is much more fun.
Well, of course. But see, the thing is, I don't really enjoy the colors and the songs and the lights, and I don't really enjoy all that.
I don't as much anymore. I used to.
Yeah.
Now I don't enjoy that much as much anymore.
The festive, yay, hooray thing. I'm just not into it, and the songs drive me totally wacky insane. I mean, I was in a bar yesterday. Downtown LA, and man, it was just I couldn't even hear myself think. It was just non-stop, one after the other. Just Giddy up, suck the beep, boobs. I was gonna kill myself. Feliz Navidad. I'm dead. I'm just I can't take this anymore. This is driving me absolutely bonkers.
So the one Christmas song that I have to listen to every time, but because a buddy of mine years ago, we should just roll around on the floor, lose our shit. Santa Claus is coming.
The Bruce Springsteen version?
Yes, because it's live and he even starts laughing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't. What am I doing?
Yeah, when especially
I'm one of the deepest,
when
coolest
your heroes
dudes in this medium, and he's going.
When your heroes get involved. Paul McCartney has one now, simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Shut up, Paul. You're like fucking Idol, man. Just,
But it's like
get
Christmas
back to-
albums used to be like, if you're an artist, you had to do a Christmas album because you'd sell a bazillion. Now
I
it's
think
like
they still do that.
they do. Like you can get James Taylor in Starbucks,
Right.
But I don't want James Taylor
He's so-
singing Frosty the
He's so
Snowman.
relevant now.
I want James Taylor singing,
I said artists still do that. You're like, yeah,
Fire
James
away.
Taylor still makes like James Taylor.
No,
I'm talking about
you
Beyonce.
could go, like I think Nora Jones still has a holiday thing. It's like I'm sure Beyonce has
I'm sure that they all do.
a holiday song
I'm sure
or a holiday
the Biebs
album.
has one probably.
The Beeb, he's Canadian.
Oh yeah, he doesn't count.
He's just kidding. All of our
Not because he's
all our-
not because he's Canadian. Not
Canadian.
because he's Canadian.
He's from Canada.
Connect.
He's from Canada. Schenectady? Connecticut. Masha
clack. Stack the clack. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, Christmas sucks. And you know what really sucks this year about the holidays? Is that Hanukkah starts the day before, on Christmas Eve. The first day of Hanukkah is on Christmas Eve. Talking about, like, a punch in the nuts. The dreidels go...
The dreidels going the same time as the
dreidels. Wait, rewind. Let me start. Like I missed an opportunity. That's a sock in the dreidels right there. It's like usually at least we have like a little buffer. Like Hanukkah's over here. People are like, oh, it's Hanukkah. It's
Hanukkah.
nice.
And then you can
now
switch.
it's like, oh, it's Hanukkah. No, Christmas is coming. It's like, okay, we'll be in the corner over here, lighting a few candles and
You just did like
Getting-
the claymation abominable snowman right there, which used to scare the shit out of me.
those things are stupid.
They're fantastic.
No, they're terrible.
They're scary. But I think what's interesting is like most of the Jewish high holidays are one's the Day of Atonement, and one's sort of like it's looking inward and realizing.
Oh,
what's
it's all
going on.
reflective.
It's all reflective stuff.
reflective.
Christmas is not.
People don't even know what they're doing.
They're pushing people over in line at the store and they're yelling. And it's like I want the cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
And ugly sweaters and all that. It was supposed to be reflective and joyous.
Rudolph,
but it's
and
not.
like
It's so weird.
Santa's fat ass. It's
like why are flowers more expensive on the week of Valentine's than they are in October?
Right.
It's because you'll pay for it.
Right.
Don't pay for flowers in February. They'll come down. But everybody, I mean, why don't if you have so many you want to buy flowers for? Why do you only buy them on Valentine's? You should buy them whenever you want.
What
to.
is the-
And you should not buy them on Valentine's.
Right.
To show that I actually care and not just like I'm giving it lip service.
Try that. See
I do it all the time.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do it all the time. Well, I don't buy flowers. That's
why you're happily
because
married.
it's tough thing with flowers is flowers. I'm not saying a cheap curmudgeon, but they're nice, but then they die. I'd rather buy a plant. Something you can enjoy over and over again. But flower. I love
Here's your
flowers,
lovely-
but I feel bad that they're cut and then they die. I love flowers.
Yeah.
Because they look good, they feel good, they smell good, and they make a room look nice. But then they're dead, and I feel bad that like you killed something to purchase a retail and then put it in your house to go ooh, and then you're like, oh, he's dying. Trash. It's like I so don't value the fact that you're going in the garbage.
Here,
and I just threw away a thing of flowers.
Here, honey, here's a plant.
Today.
Here's something else to take care of.
Well, I did. I bought some flowers the other day, but they were a flowering thing, but in a pot with dirt that you could water. And we kept them for a couple weeks, but then we went out of town and they died because we couldn't take care of them. So that's the other thing.
Succulents.
The cat lives,
Succulents.
but the flowers.
That's the way to go.
So LA, the succulents.
Succulents.
We took the cat with us. We didn't leave the cat. It's good. Cat travel.
Oh, good.
Cat travel.
Cool.
But holiday. So holiday plans like this year, I don't have any.
Yeah, no, me neither.
And I don't even have like
I actually might go to San Francisco. I'm not sure yet, but I might
on the bus.
Yeah.
Holiday bus.
The holiday bus. There's days if you take it and you go on a certain day, like at a certain time, there's no one on it. I've spent like an 8-hour bus ride with like 3 people.
Yeah,
on the bus.
It almost
which
seems
is
not
great.
worth
Yeah.
the diesel fuel.
I know, right? They're like, we're not gonna go.
It's like a comedy show. We're going to cancel the show. There's not enough people there. Or it's like when you're banned and you're like, only your mom came.
Right.
And you're like,
hey, show must go on.
none of our friends
show must
came.
go on.
The show must go on. Just use it as a rehearsal. We're plugged. We're already plugged.
That's what we used to call it. My bands, we go, well, this is a live rehearsal.
Live rehearsal, and you never know. You might figure something out. It's about being in the room, right?
I played a show in Olympia, Washington. It's pouring rain outside. They didn't even know we were coming. the venue. It was a coffee house or something, and we played like in their back room, and it was basically like their like storage closet, and the door to the back alleyway was open, and so it was rain. The rain was coming in while we were playing, and the drummer was like right by the door, so he was like in a little pool of water while we were playing. And
luckily, he wasn't plugged in.
Right. That's why I was worried the whole time.
Jeez.
And the funny thing is that the guitar player's brother lived close by, and so he came to the show, and that was it. Just him sitting there watching us play in this back room in Olympia, Washington, and I could tell you we had a blast.
One of your better shows.
Yeah, it was amazing. We had a great time.
One of your better shows.
That's the thing about, you look back and you're like, God, you could think about how crappy things were, but you're like, no, that was amazing. That was an amazing time. So, yeah, that's one of many shows that we've had that memorable madness.
Okay, so we're back. Did we really go anywhere? Do we need to tell them that we go anywhere?
I made a new beverage and
pee break and a beverage.
That's
Too many beverage before.
Yep.
All right. So one thing that we're getting some pretty good feedback from our kind of podcasts of Squadcast. We have some great listeners and some great fans that cross over from a lot of different stuff, but we get some emails at the website. And
Squadcast. Sorry.
In addition to like people ordering the stuff from like the signed pictures or T-shirts or signed wooden stakes that we have there, which sell regularly, so people get them because people dig them, and then they post. Because if you order a stake, we order something, we ship it out to you as soon as possible. And, please take your photos with it and, like, post it so we can repost it and put it on the site because we love to see you holding the stuff that you kind of get signed and then we send to you because that's what it's all about.
Right. I want to see more pictures of the shirt that I designed.
Yeah, your shirt's cool.
That.
I like the sunset one. We just sent out a couple of those. And, of course, the wooden stakes are always popular. And we got some good people with wooden stakes, like, posting their photos. So, please keep sending those if you order stuff, and we'll put them out as much as possible. But the other thing is every once in a while, we get great emails about saying hello or hi. But one of our listeners who, I'm going to read her email that she sent us. It's a little long, but it's very well written because she's a teacher. She's a professor. And her name was Marcia Farrell. Mm-hmm. And so you said just read it. So
go for it. Just read it.
Okay. And I'll cut some of the meat out just to get to the point. But it says, Dear Ryan and Andre, for the hell of it, I decided to listen to your first Squadcast while grading a pile of student essays. And I wanted to compliment you two on providing intellectually stimulating and frank commentary on film media in your profession. Well, thank you, Marcia. That was nice too.
Marcia.
Okay. But we actually got into a topic in that episode that she was intrigued by our discussion of iconic films and the limited possibilities of such classifications within the 21st century, and our description of the impact of the Harry Potter franchise as being iconic for a newer generation. What's iconic for people today or younger people today? She even taught a course on the impact of the novel of the Harry Potter franchise in fantasy and mystery novels in part of her curriculum, she said. But she wanted to ask the question, if we saw a problem with what she's terming authorial interference when it disrupts the canon of a novel / film / artistic endeavor, such as Harry Potter, in terms of its impact. And basically what she was saying is, like, a Harry Potter book comes out, or they watch the play, or they watch the movies, and people talk about it, and they have their either reactions to it, but then someone like Rowling comes in and starts replying or messing around with what they feel with it, or maybe correcting what they're looking at.
So a fan says, or like even like creative side of things says like, this is the way that I think it should be, or the way that I think it is, or this is my interpretation of it. This is my take on this character or this
You're
story.
speaking as the fan, right?
Yeah, the fan.
Right.
And then she comes in and says, no, this is the way it is, because I wrote it and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right, or this is how you're viewing it wrong. You're viewing it incorrectly.
Right.
You know, maybe that's I'm sure.
Right.
As an author or a creator, or something that comes out with something.
Right.
You'd like it to be.
Do
your
we
vision.
know that she had done this? Did she
Oh, well, she
actually
has
do
because
this?
there is. It kind of gets in there with I think. Let's read her exact quote on this last part of it. She says. My students have been invested in J.K. Rowling's revision and correction of the ways that people critique, read, and interpret the Harry Potter series in a way that compromises what appeared on the original page and in the films. Mm-hmm. So her students have been looking at her response to critique, or exactly what you were saying. She's asking us, do you think that type of interference will somehow change the lasting impact of a franchise like Harry Potter? Well, that's a good question. I don't know if it changes the lasting impact, because I think if you're impacted by it and you're a fan, that will stay. I don't think the author can really, really ruin it unless they just kind of come way out and kind of like dismantle you as a fan.
I think at some point, the author involuntarily takes a step back from what they've created, and it is no longer yours. It is now ours. Star Wars is ours. It's not George Lucas's anymore. Obviously, it's not his actual.
It's not his anymore either.
In actuality, it's not his anymore. But it's in terms of like, he can, someone like that, J.K. Rowling, George Lucas, anybody, they can control as much as they can. But at some point, I don't think people listen to, they're like, no, this is the way that I feel about it. And everyone has their own opinions and interpretations of what it does to their lives.
And I think this dynamic is something new because 15 years ago, 25 years ago, the only way an author could come in to interfere with a critique is something from a review in a newspaper and talk about it in an op-ed or in a magazine interview or on TV. Mm. Now you can tweet it out, you can comment, you could re-comment.
Yeah. You can actually have a conversation with J.K. Rowling if she decides to engage.
And blast you as saying, you're a terrible fan.
I've seen her do this.
I think that's what she's talking about. Yeah. And the second part of her point here, Marcia's, and you just alluded to Lucas, she says, for example, I know that while a number of people enjoyed the performance of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which was the play,
right.
Its problematic adherence to the storylines have caused a number of people to see it as apocryphal.
I heard this. I did not see. Obviously, I hadn't seen the play because it's in London. But I know a lot of people that have read it, and I particularly thinking about one in particular person. They said that it didn't add up. It didn't, the timelines and the characters didn't match. It didn't work. It didn't seem to be a continuation or a of the story.
So, that's where it comes in with sort of because it doesn't fit in with what you've been conditioned of what has been released. So that's the framework.
Right. So that's why it's a scholar of Harry Potter and knows everything and is an encyclopedia of knowledge of the series.
Well, that's sort of how it is.
The books, not the films.
Right.
This doesn't really fit in to that world.
Well, then that's also because we just had the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which some people liked it. Some people said it was I haven't seen it yet. I don't think I'm going to go see it. I'll watch it when it's on TV.
Right. Yeah, I will too.
It's a super prequel. I mean, it takes place way before, sort of in that world.
Which gives her the right to do whatever she wants because it's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world, right.
9 films later.
How Disney. But then
can lick my nuts.
Whoa,
dreidels.
Your dreidels?
Another missed opportunity.
Jingle balls. Because Marcia also says after the Cursed Child causing problems, she's thinking of this in contrast to what Lucas and J.J. Abrams did with Star Wars, as the general consensus is that The Force Awakens is a successful continuation of the storyline. She asked, does that make sense? And no, it totally makes sense. Great email, by the way. And thank you for sending that.
Yeah, thanks, Marcia.
I have different problems with Force Awakens. And this isn't a podcast about, we get kind of nerdy sometimes. But it's not like, we're going to cut into Star Wars. Because I'm a gigantic Star Wars universe fan. Love it. I enjoy it. That's my universe. Like you said, it's like it's Star Wars.
It's mine, yeah.
I feel that, of course, the prequels, which weren't very good, it's because George Lucas came in and stepped on my world and completely dismantled it.
Right.
Of what I know, not just my own interpretation of it, but just logic and fact of that world.
Right. So now that they did Force Awakens, which is the exact opposite of that, which is a complete love letter to the originals and a sort of like gift as far as J.J. Abrams is concerned. That's how he felt. Not only as he was a huge fan, but he was basically saying like, this is for you. Like he basically, it's not like he like, you can write in and say what you wanted the movies to be, and he did them. But he definitely knew what we wanted to see, and obviously we wanted to see, some original cast members, and we wanted to root for the Millennium Falcon. Like he brought all that stuff in, like, and it was sort of like it kind of set it off again.
Well, that was the goal, and that's sort of the problem.
You can have problems
I have
with the films itself.
I have a problem with the story, is what I have
That's
a problem
fine.
with. I think they did.
That's fine.
But what they did with it was that it reignited those feels,
right?
And that worked a little bit. I think it was two things. I think it was an olive branch for. Apologize for the kind of scraping your skin with a cheese grater and throwing you in the ocean.
Yeah. With
the last three. So here's the olive branch. But it's it was a punt.
Yeah.
I think Force Awakens was a punt. It was a ball control move at the end of a football game that you have a lot more quarters to play.
It was an easy launch to like the rest of
the
Star Wars world.
Right. And I think Rogue One, knowing that that's going to come out.
By the way, we got to stand next to a X-wing fighter yesterday
on Hollywood Boulevard. That was awesome.
Oh my god! You can go on both of our Twitter and Facebook accounts and see pictures of us.
And we were saying that's so Disney, because Disney is there's 4 blocks of Hollywood Boulevard that are going to be closed for almost a week.
It's been already a week.
It's a fucking X-wing fighter in the middle,
sitting there with like
Hollywood
guards around
it,
not wearing rebel uniforms. But
yeah, see, if they did that right,
been
that security guard would have been in costume.
Why couldn't they just throw the security guard a rebel costume?
Just throw the security guard. You're paying him anyway.
Right.
Pay him a little bit more to wear like.
I don't think you'd have to pay him more. You just have to get him the uniform. You'd totally do it.
Totally do it. Do you know what TIE and TIE Fighter stands for?
No.
If anybody's listening, this is the question of the day. TIE Fighter is TIE. You tweet me or Ryan what TIE Fighter means, and we'll send you something. Again, thank you, Marcia Farrell, for sending that email.
Thank you.
It's been a while, but hopefully get back to you.
I hope we kind of tapped into that a little bit. It's kind of a loaded question.
It was, and it's also a very personally opinionated, but I think we try to attract that. But I think the biggest difference of what her question poses, I think technology and social media have a bigger impact than the actual interaction of the author. Because I'm sure there's authors... name them over name the best author of every decade for the last 60 years, and I'm sure they had a review, or when fans talk about like, that's not what that fucking book was about. Like you're all, dorks, or you're all just completely mentally challenged because you didn't get my whole point of this book, even though it sold a bazillion copies. Yeah, and you're all dumb. I'm sure that's happened, but they don't really get to voice that except for in their own kind of like salons, I guess, in the artistic world. But now you can go on Twitter and blast someone for giving an opinion. But they do. But there's also a mirror of that too, because people can blast you back. So it's a weird world, Trump. It's like
if you're gonna say, if you have an opinion on someone's opinion of yourself, then you better get ready, and put your guard down, because you're gonna hear it back.
But therein lies the rub, because that's your thing. You created it.
Well, then just let it go.
You have to let it go.
Just let it go. Don't
you put it out there.
If I put a record out, or like if somehow we made a film and put it out there, I'm definitely the kind of person that likes to read reviews. Like, I've read reviews of my albums and like to hear what people think about it. And maybe it influences my feelings for the day or whatever. But it's an interesting take on what I created. Would I blast back? Hell no. Because I know that starts something that I'm never going to win.
Yeah, you're never going to win.
I'm never going to win.
Totally losing battle. But yeah, that's a good example of something like putting out a record or a song. or even someone's now kind of post-experience commentary on seeing a live show of yours or somebody else's. A lot of people are like, I love the album, but the live show sucked, or vice versa. And that's always sort of like, I guess, that best feeling is that better live than on the album.
But everything balances out, because this is why you can't listen to that stuff as an artist, because then this guy over here goes, oh my God, they're so much better live than the album. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're like, booing, okay, who am I listening to? It's like, no, you're listening to all of it. Cause like,
you got to take it all as a whole and then average it out.
Yeah, you have problems with Force Awakens, and my friend over here is masturbating to it every day. You know what I mean? So, who you know? It's
I just never with the storyline, with the feasibility of Star Killer Base.
I only have one problem with it. I have one problem.
What's your one problem with it?
Not enough R2D2.
Not enough R2D2.
They need to make him. They need a. R2D2.
Well, he got played out in the prequels, and he shouldn't even have been there.
He needs a standalone.
He did the prequels.
After they did Han Solo. I want R2D2 the movie, and I don't want anyone else to be. There's no other characters.
Well, this is what's crazy about me is like
R2D2 standing there going beep bop boop, and like
and subtitled or not subtitled,
eating Don Cheetos.
I'm gonna sue you if you make that. I'm gonna call Marcia Clark. But anyway, hopefully Marcia Farrell, not Marcia Clark, Marcia Farrell. Wow, we didn't even see that one coming. The same name. Thank you for the email. And if you have like topics or questions that you want to send to us, send them via Twitter, or either send them to hello@ryanandandre.com. And while you're there, scroll down and get some stuff, and we'll sign it, send it to you. The other thing that we can announce is I think we got it finally kind of worked out. We'll be at Horror Hound in Cincinnati in March. So we're looking forward to that. We've got a screening of Monster Squad in January here at the Chinese...
Speaking of Hollywood Boulevard.
TCL Chinese Theaters. I think it's on the 13th of January. So come to that if you're in the LA area. Hopefully we'll have another episode before that, but we just kind of all the stuff that's kind of floating into the orbit now, and kind of outside on the orbit. You know, we're coming into that year, and I think we'll be doing we'll be doing like an Alamo tour and stuff like that. Hopefully, so they're working on that. So
yeah, this coming year, I believe we're going to be
out
on the road for a lot. So hopefully we're in a city near you, and you can come say hi.
And if we're not already scheduled there, if you know some venues or things that you think so, please tell the people, or you know contact them and say, hey, this is a great idea, because we love to set it up, personally. It's not that hard to put something together, and those are just fun. This will be a big year coming into it, so we should see you hopefully before New Year's. But holidays are crazy. But we'll see you soon, and we're getting ready to go to the holiday party.
We're going to a holiday party.
As much as we just lambasted holiday, we're going to a holiday party, right?
Ironically, we're both dressed in full Santa costumes right now. Well, Andre's an elf, but... Hello! Bing, da dong, ding dong, Cheetle.
I'm going to punch you in your jingle balls. All right.
Dreidel balls.
Dreidel balls. Chala!
Chala! You guys have a wonderful holiday. We'll see you soon.
Squadcast.
Squadcast.